actually pretty quick. It took us a while to figure out everybody's schedules because we're on a couple of different continents. But yes, we figured it out, and we are here, and it is Friday. Hallelujah. And so I thought maybe we could go into some quick fire introductions, how we came to be here and what sort of relationship we have to The Walking Dead. So for me, I'm with The Walking Dead cast, have been for a couple years now, and that's pretty much it. I'm not the only podcaster in my house, though. Dave is also a podcaster, my husband, with Westworld. And sometimes dipping into other podcasts as well. How about you, Rima?
Man, Karen, you are short selling yourself. What do you mean just on the Walking Dead cast? You are amazing. I mean, seriously, you make my day. You
Thanks,
are
girlfriend.
Probably, totally, you guys are a team. I get it. Jason does his thing. Absolutely. But, it's good when you're there. Trust me. So don't short sell yourself.
Dang, okay. That is a lesson for all of us. All of us out there listening, don't short sell yourself. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just my quick little introduction. I have a podcast on the Podcastica network, which is, the same network that Jason has for Walking Dead cast and other awesome podcasts that we have on the Podcastica network called Strange Indeed. But I have been, just absolutely honored to have guested in your place sometimes, Karen, and sometimes for you, Lucy, as well, on Fear, when that is currently on. I've had that pleasure to guest a couple of times, and it has been just an amazing experience, and I'm happy to be here.
Ooh. Thanks, son. Kristen?
I am really excited because I've never been on Walking Dead cast yet, and so
which is crazy,
really exciting.
One episode to start with.
I've had butterflies in my stomach all day because I've been really excited about it. What? But I mean, I got my start obviously on the Game of Thrones podcast earlier last year, last fall, and that's going to continue one of these days. And I also just started a Lost rewatch podcast with Ben through Ben Beck through his network and through podcast. It's both of the networks. And I was a big time super fan of the Walking Dead cast and Walking Dead and Proper and Fear the Walking Dead and blah blah blah. So I'm just excited.
I'm a super fan of you. Can I ask where are you at now in the Lost podcast?
We just finished episodes, I think 9 and 10, Solitary and Raised by Another.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah, they're really good. And what was really cool about it was that I felt like both of those episodes could have made up like a 2-hour episode. Like they both went very much hand in hand, which was nice.
Yeah.
But we're still in season 1, and I invite any of you ladies to come and guest whenever you want. You name the episode, please come on. I would love to have you, and Ben's fine with it too.
Oh, you know which episode I want? If I can, if I can make a request, Trisha Tanaka is dead.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
It's yours.
Favorite episode of Lost of all time, and I can still bring tears to my eyes. I love it so much.
I was reading an article today that had The Constant was rated one of like the best episode of anything ever in the world, and I got a bit emotional because I was like, oh yeah, that was a really good episode.
It was.
I cry every time on The Constant. One of my favorites.
Yep. Oh, David does too. He loves it when he loves the Penny. Penny and what is his name?
Desmond.
Yes.
Oh, Desmond.
Yes.
Desmond.
Their romance, man, it's good. It's really good.
What can I say? Bearded Scottish men on boats. It's what you want.
It's good. It's really good.
I was really happy when what's his name, Henry Ian Cusick, right? When he was on Scandal, and then he was on the 100. Which, if you're not watching the 100, that's a really fun show, and he's on it. It's great. He's a main character. He's a main character.
Does he keep his accent?
No, he doesn't.
No. Say I'm in with the accent.
I am American.
Speaking of accents, Lucy, my dear, do you want to give us a little background on you?
Of course. Long-time listener. I've been listening to you guys, Jason and Karen, since 2013, 2014-ish. Been watching the show since the first season. And in the last year, since about halfway through the last season of the Game of Thrones podcast, I've been on and off guesting with Jason and Rima and Lara as well at various points. And yeah, now I'm co-hosting Fear the Walking Dead cast, which is coming back in just over a week's time. I've made a big note to myself to remember to mention that because last time I didn't. So yeah, Fear the Walking Dead cast coming back to some earbuds near you, and that's my deal with it. But I was wanting to ask all of you, except Karen, because it's kind of a question about Karen. How many of you, and you can answer at home as well by raising your hand, how many of you were attracted to the Walking Dead cast initially because there was a female co-host?
That's a good question.
Because my hand is up.
My hand is up. One
of the things that got me here. Yeah.
Yes, my hand is way high, touching the sky.
Mm-hmm. Whoa, that is awesome to hear. How interesting. Yep. I didn't know that. And actually, that thought didn't even occur to me. Although I look for podcasts that have women on them. Personally, I really, really like. I'm listening to one right now called Hysteria. That is a bunch of ladies, but there's a lot of really, really good ones out there, and so I absolutely seek it out. But I'm amazed that you guys sought it out as well. Mm-hmm. Talk about that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was really. I mean, I found when I first came into the fandom and sort of the fringes of podcasts, because this was probably also one of the first podcasts I really got into. It was hard to find a podcast that wasn't predominantly male, and at that point I wasn't very woke in terms of feminism or gender politics, but I knew that the things I liked about The Walking Dead were not the same things that my partner liked about The Walking Dead, and it was interesting to me to be able to hear a balance, and I think that's what kept me coming back to The Walking Dead cast again and again, is that nice balance that you and Jason have of seeing different things. And it's not as easy as Karen sees all the lovey-dovey stuff and Jason just likes battles, because it's not like that. No. But I do think sometimes it does bring, and I've certainly found in my own appearances on podcasts, it has occasionally brought different things to the fore, and that's always quite interesting.
Yeah, you can agree with that. I could totally agree with that. I know that when I first started listening to Walking Dead cast, I was kind of a lot like you, Lucy, in the way that you're explaining it, that I wouldn't call myself woke or anything or a feminist, but the more that Karen actually would bring it up, the more it brought to my attention when women were being left out or women were being raised up, and through that I feel like I've made friendships with people that that kind of think that way, and over the years it's been one of those things that now I am a huge flag carrier of women and not pitting each other against each other, which I think is something that we do too often as women. Oh, yeah. And Thandie Newton recently had an article where she said that we've been conditioned that way to pit ourselves against each other to make us weaker. And I really, 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 that really resonated with me. And so I love having the women as the balance on most of the podcasts in the show, with the exception of Westworld cast. But that is my favorite podcast right now. So I have nothing bad to say about Westworld cast at all. But I have noticed that all the other podcasts are this really great balance of men and women. And the women in every single podcast bring just as much, if not more, to the shows and to the episodes.
Can I just say that for Westworld cast, when my very favorite episode of theirs, and these are my two favorite guys, Jason and David. Yeah. Obviously, they're my favorites. But my very favorite episode was when they had Jenny on.
Oh, me too.
Oh, Jenny's amazing.
She's so freaking smart and funny and insightful, and she brought a little bit of sparkle and some kind of little magic to the podcast. And I was like, I even texted Jason afterwards. I'm like, have Jenny on again. Can you have Jenny on again?
She's amazing.
I know she lives there. Have her on again.
I put that in the comments. I said I wanted her to be on the very next one too.
She has an amazing, like, analytical, scientific mind that I just don't have. And I think the way she sees things, like on American Godcast and things, is just so insightful. I completely agree. I always love when Jenny's on because I think she's just so wise.
Yes. Yeah, she is. She's a scientist. It makes perfect sense. Plus, she's funny and she's got like this great laugh. And I think that David and Jason get super into the weeds, and David has, you know, both of them have these real deep voices. So it's fun to hear a female presence on it. It just is wonderful. It sort of rounds it all out.
I would agree.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Although, Karen, your husband is he is my favorite part of the Westworld cast. He's so, like, he brings up stuff where I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not even think about that. Like, his knowledge on music is second to none.
I cannot wait to tell him that. He'll be so stoked to hear it. He'll be stoked, and then he'll dismiss it and decide that you know, he's terrible at taking compliments. A lot of people have had it.
I think the thing is as well, and I'm sure you guys will agree, and I promise you that we're not getting paid to say this, we're quite lucky in that in Jason we have someone who will listen and take things on board, which for a lot of people, I'm not saying men specifically, but in a lot of situations is hard for people to do. Whereas I know Jason and I have had discussions where we've misconstrued each other or we've gone away and thought about it and come back, and I find that so rewarding because there's so much shouting nowadays and people not listening, and I just think these podcasts are such a great forum to talk about some of those issues that make people shout and make people crazy and angry, and to have someone who's patient and willing to listen in that sense I think is really valuable. So Podcastica's Grand Lord Supreme founder Jason
is himself,
the Godfather himself, blessed be his name, is a pretty cool guy for doing that and for encouraging us to do this podcast as well. So
absolutely, he's without a doubt one of the kindest people I've ever known.
Yep,
just genuine, sincere, kind, very very. I love it that I know him, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So and that's not just the whiskey talking.
Yeah.
The whiskey guys, sorry.
Or the pot.
It's all fine. We're all good. Stay cool, kids.
It's legal. So in general, do you get any sort of interesting reactions being a woman who likes the zombie genre and I don't know, you know, you all like sort of maybe rollicking action adventure kind of things. So do you get any feedback from that?
So, not like you used to whenever I was younger, because I mean, you guys were talking a little bit about, you know, how all of us, you know, love Karen's perspective on The Walking Dead and any woman's perspective on something that could be typically considered like male centric or more appealing to males. Whenever I was younger, I was definitely a big nerd, big geek with like comic book stuff and horror movies, but I didn't communicate that a lot because it was like considered a boy thing. So, you know, I kind of just kept it to myself. I still enjoyed those things, but I didn't like talk to other people about it. I just kind of did it on my own. And times have certainly really changed where it's kind of cool to be a nerd now, and not just a nerd, but you can be a male or female nerd and be accepted and be open to talking about these things. Like we have our awesome group and we have these podcasts and we're able to, and of course, you know, social media has actually been, I think, a positive in this. If it, you know, it can be a negative sometimes, but in a positive way, it, you know, brings out like a community, like, wow, there are other females that share this. And so that is one thing that did, you know, draw to me. The Walking Dead cast was one of the first podcasts for me as well. And seeing Karen as a co-host, I thought, oh, good, a female perspective too. I want to hear both sides, because there's something valuable from both sides that can be brought to the table and their opinions. So, you know, I think there is, you know, value in that, and I did seek it out and made me want to listen. And of course, you listen one time. All you gotta do is listen to one time, right? One episode of Jason and Karen together, and you're freaking hooked. It's the gateway drug. So, you know.
Once you're bit, you don't go back.
That's right. I was bit and I was
You're infected.
Done. So, just I don't see it as much anymore. It's very little that I get any kind of like, what, you like zombies or horror movies or comic book stuff. But, days gone by, yes, I used to.
Nice.
I like it.
Yeah. Excellent little shout out. I used to get it too. And it's funny because not many people even know I had a podcast. I would sort of keep it to myself. And every once in a while I would trot it out at like a party or at work or something just to see people's reactions. And I'm just some schmo that, just mind my own business being a water conservation person here in California. And then it's really fun to say, yeah, I have a podcast. It's about zombies. And it's fun to watch people's heads turn around. That's kind of great.
It's like the record stops and everybody turns and stares.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
I think it's quite funny that sometimes the people you see the most, like workmates or family, are sometimes the ones who are most surprised by it. Like, I'm quite certain that my parents think something is quite fundamentally wrong with me. And they're like, so zombies, right? Is that one of your zombie things? And occasionally I'll catch them just sort of looking at me like, I mean, what is it about the zombies? I'm just like, I don't know. I just, really like it.
Zombies are cool and they're funny.
They are cool. And I think I don't know. I try a lot to come back to what it is about this fandom and this thing that keeps me coming back. And the only thing I can think of is when I was about 6 or 7, my dad and I watched made-for-TV version of Stephen King's The Stand, which was totally inappropriate viewed for a 7-year-old, but was like par for the course in our household. And I loved that post-apocalyptic wasteland of America and just thinking about all the things that would happen would something like that happen. And I think that's what I keep coming back to. And weirdly, I think getting more involved in fandom and podcasting, it's actually started to feed into my life in a really positive way now, in a way that it didn't maybe over the past few years, because as you guys know, I'm an academic. I'm finishing up my thesis at the moment. Woo. And the things that we talk about on the podcast and things like questions about feminism and intersectionality and culture, they've really informed my practice as a teacher, and that's something that I'm really grateful for. And The Walking Dead's a huge part of that, and I use it as a teaching reference point wherever I can because it is such a cultural phenomenon. And I think it has become easier as well because the show and its treatment of women, I'm going to put a statement out there, you guys
Let's do it.
Can agree or disagree. I think the treatment of women on the show has gotten much, much better as the show's gone on. Other things have gone downhill. But in terms of how women are portrayed, I really think it's been an upward curve that it's doing a lot of things that a lot of other shows aren't doing, and I find that really interesting.
So you're talking about the characters in general and not the actors.
Yeah, I think the way that the characters are treated by the script has improved. I think the actors have as well. I think definitely they've grown into those roles, and we've seen them kind of go from strength to strength in that sense. But just when we compare, like, it always comes back to that when I'm talking about it with other women who've maybe dropped off the show or haven't stuck with it for whatever reason, it always comes back to that scene in season 1 where they're sitting around the creek washing clothes while the men are hunting, and they're like, oh, I wish I had my vibrator, hee hee hee. And I'm just like, well, okay, legit concern, but also like, come on.
It is a legit concern, but is that...
will you,
Hi, Mom,
will you
I
be
hope
able
you're
to
listening.
get batteries in the zombie apocalypse?
Right? These are the things you would worry about. But people say, it's come from that to having strong female leads within seasons kind of 6, 7, and 8. And to me, that's impressive. That's something that keeps me invested in the show, for sure. And it makes being a female Zedhead easier.
I agree with you completely in the way that I mean, 2 great examples, Michonne, a fierce fighter and also capable of great kindness and great love and strength in her relationships. She's strong and kind and wonderful. And Carol, another great warrior and saves the day more than once. Maggie, who I hope they don't take her down a really dark path. They might, but I hope not. I hope that she stays true to who she started out as. But one thing that I had a hard time with this year, and I want to bring this up with you all, is I had a freaking hard time with Negan. And here's why. It's a weird, not to bring politics into it, but there's some, this country feels a little more divided these days. And we had the character of Negan come, and maybe that was just a timing thing for me, but I couldn't accept him. I had the hardest time with his swagger and his brutality, and it was hard for me as a woman in many ways to really just embrace him and love him. Did you feel that way?
Oh yeah. I think there's, for sure. I think there's two things I would say to that, and then I'm gonna stop talking because I feel like I'm talking too much. Hang on, that's a really woman thing, isn't it? I think I'm speaking too much.
Oh my god, that is totally a female thing. Yeah, exactly. Embrace it, Lucy.
I think the two things are, one, there was an episode of Deadcast that I did with Jason where I think one of my points was Negan's language.
Yep.
And it wasn't the swearing, it was the sexualized language that I just can't handle. I hate when people use that kind of...
Yes.
And it's not to do with it being crude or vulgar. I'm not, I can swear with the best of them, and I'm not particularly polite in my language. But it's this use of sort of... words and phrases that are particularly demeaning to women to describe this conflict. And the way he sexualized Lucille, I just found that really inappropriate. And it's funny because I think this is... So, issue 100, correct me if I'm wrong, was roughly 2011, 2012, and that's the issue where Negan enters and Glenn passes away, gets beaten to death by a baseball bat.
Thanks for clarifying.
And there's one of those things, oh yeah, spoiler alert, if you're only watching season 1. And I think we gave Negan a lot of props at the time because we were like, oh, his one redeeming thing is that he doesn't rape. And I think now... that's not enough. I don't think it was then.
He does rape, though. He does.
Yeah, and
rape.
He does. That's the thing, doesn't he?
He rapes over and over and over again.
Yeah, and I think the way we conceive of it and the way we discuss it now is such that we're like, no, that's obviously not acceptable. That's completely fucked up. Like, that's he says he doesn't, but he does, and it's all about power dynamics. So I think in that way, getting Negan on the screen was even more difficult because there is nothing redemptive there. Like, if they'd cast a less good-looking actor, I do think it would be even more difficult. Like, I don't mean like, oh, he's a bit good-looking, so it's all fine. I just mean like he is...
Yes.
There's a charisma to Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Oh, yeah. Like, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
But I do think, the way that we've... In those years since that issue in Negan's arc, the way that we as women and as a society have started talking about those issues has changed, I think. And it's not acceptable anymore. And it never was. But now we're more open about it. And we're like, well, no, that's... that's still the same thing. That's not okay. And I think it was you that brought it up, Karen, and I think when we were first introduced to his harem in like season 7, you were like, nope, that's coercion. That's not free will. That's not consent. Right. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on Negan there.
I would 100% agree with both what you guys have said. I mean, I don't know really what I could possibly add to any of that. I don't know that the only part I guess maybe I would go back on that is I didn't really, like with the reflection of today's politics, like you mentioned, Karen, I didn't let that kind of go into whenever I'm strictly, whenever I'm watching something, it's purely for entertainment. I will totally own up to the fact that you're like, you know what, something can be really, like, I can watch something and it can be really bad. I can watch a really, really bad movie and people are like, how can you watch that? That's horrible. And I'm like, I just want to be entertained. You might not like it, but I just want to be entertained, because to me, the current climate can be so absolutely horrible that this is my escape. And so I just completely like block all of that out, and I just want to be entertained. You might hate it, it might suck, and I don't mean like you, but the general you, whoever I'm talking to in that conversation, it's like, they're like, they start getting too analytical, or they start poking at it too much. I'm like, I just want to be entertained. My TV, my movies, the things that I watch, a big action movie is a big horrible monster movie like New Godzilla or something I was raving about on the Comic-Con podcast and stuff. A lot of them are terrible, but I love it, and I just want to be entertained. So I try not to let too much of all the horrible stuff of the current climate filter in too much into my form of entertainment, my escapism. So, but everything else, I totally agree that I did have problems with the same things that you ladies did, but you just say it way better.
Not true. I think you said it exactly right.
I think, yeah.
And I don't mean to complain too much.
No, that's not a complaint.
That's such a lady thing to do too. I don't mean to complain.
Exactly. Apologizing. It's fine. Yeah, why are we apologizing? Fuck everyone. We're just
for my valid opinion.
Okay, next person to apologize has to buy everyone else a drink. So
that means that we're all getting together then. So I'm sorry.
Yes. It has to happen.
I'll get the
Everybody come to my house. Marg's on me.
Yes.
Wait, what state are you in?
North Carolina.
Oh, I love North Carolina so much.
So
I
pretty.
just moved to North Carolina. We're actually still in the middle of a move. So I moved away from Virginia about 2-3 weeks ago, and I'm at my mom's house until our house is ready and we close escrow in about like a week and a half. So
nice.
Technically I'm homeless, but right now I'm in North Carolina.
We're in transition.
I went to a running camp in Asheville, North Carolina, and it was one of my favorite places in the whole world. It's so amazing.
Asheville is one of my favorite places in the whole world.
So
it
pretty.
Is the best.
It is.
There's so much beer. It's unbelievable.
Well, no one told me about the beer.
It's where it's so much beer is in Asheville. It's my husband and I went a couple years ago on a trip, and we drank so much beer, we didn't eat. We were so full.
I love that.
Yeah, it was a good day.
All right. So speaking of things that are awesome, what was everybody's favorite moments or episodes on The Walking Dead?
So I have, I'm just going to jump in here. I have two. I have two because I didn't know if I wanted to do like my favorite moment or just my favorite female moment. So I just did one of each. So my favorite moment is actually, it's a part that I still out loud laugh at every single time I watch it. And it's in No Sanctuary when they're in the little cargo bin and Maggie's in there and they're all making weapons and they're all talking to them going, it's going to be okay. We're all going to be fine. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like this really intense, very quiet moment where everybody's just like putting their faith in whatever is going to happen. They're going to get out of it. They're not going to die. And then all of a sudden the door like goes flying open and Rick is like, come on, we fight to the fans. Like, pandemonium has erupted out there and they have no idea what's going on. And they're like, we can do this. Kumbaya, we're the best. It's so funny every
Maggie's
single
just
time.
Like, oh,
I want that as a ringtone right now. I love you, Kristen.
You do a good Rick. That is an awesome Rick Grimes.
When my husband and I, my husband's name is Dave, but Dave and I, we sit there all the time and we'll look at each other like, we fight to the fans. If it's really, really quiet. So it was it's my favorite moment in the whole series because it just shows just what a bulldozer Rick Grimes is. Like he will do anything to get his people out, and I love that about him.
It's such a good description, bulldozer. I love it.
And then my favorite female moment was actually, I think it was season 3 when Michonne was in the prison and she held Judith for the first time. And it was just her and Judith in the prison cell and she's sitting there and she allows herself to like touch Judith like up to her face and to hold her. And in that moment, especially now knowing what we know about Michonne and what she's lost, you see this like vulnerability and this sense of loss come through her. And she's like grieving the loss of her family through allowing herself to just open up to this little tiny human in front of her. And it's such a small, tender little moment. And I just love it.
Yep.
Good scene.
Oh,
isn't
so
Denai Guerrero? Can we just say it right now? Isn't
oh
she
my gosh.
amazing?
She's beautiful. She's amazing. She's a warrior.
A Marvel badass.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
She's amazing playwright as well.
Yeah, she's a playwright. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And she's a fighter for for feminism and for women in Zimbabwe, which is where she's from.
Oh. Yep.
She's all around amazing.
Denai is all around us. She is wonderful.
The actress,
and who doesn't want her arms, right?
Oh yes, she's arms and abs.
Yes. The whole
just
thing.
Her.
The whole thing. She's wonderful. She's not leaving, right?
I hope well, not no, but I fear. No. I fear with I mean, I don't know that knowing what we know about what will be coming in the coming season. I don't know how. I mean, I hope that we hang on to her. I think it's going to be a strong female season, and I won't go too much into it. But we need her so much. But it makes me fearful because she has so much going right now. You guys mentioned some of it. She's got she's a playwright. She's made her big debut in this big Marvel movie, and people are being more exposed because even though The Walking Dead's a really huge big show in the world, I meet more people who have never seen The Walking Dead than have, believe it or not.
Right?
So yeah, she's now really out there. Like the people who know The Walking Dead and the comics and the show know who she is clearly, but outside of that, and shockingly, there's more than what you think, don't know who she is, and now they do or are getting more exposed to her, and I fear that it's going to start leading her away, and especially with how the show's kind of going right now and losing some people. I fear for that because she's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, who wants to go next?
I'll go. It's quiet. I'll just jump in. We don't want any white noise here. So, it is like the worst. Anytime this subject comes up and people are asking like favorite moments, it is like the worst for me to have to choose because there's so many wonderful moments. But yeah. I'm gonna pick one that I've talked about before. It's kind of morbid, and I hope people don't take it in the wrong way. But for me, it was Lori's death scene with Carl.
Oh, yeah. Gut punch.
Yeah, that to me, because I'll be the first to admit I had a lot of problems with Lori, and not Sarah Wayne Callie. She's a wonderful actress. She's beautiful, and I thought she did an amazing job as an actress. But just the character is my issue, and I don't think that they did her well. Lucy, you mentioned very well in the beginning how it's evolved, how the how it's been written for the female characters of the show, and I wish we had Lori longer to see where I know how it went in the comics, and maybe they kind of followed similarly. I don't really know why, if they decided to move that way for that reason or whatever, but anyway, I don't feel that they did her character service. But so I had some serious issues with Lori. I was not a fan of hers, didn't really enjoy her character, thought she was pretty annoying. But this, to me, leading up to this scene and during the scene really redeemed her in my eyes, and really kind of brought it back around for me. And I was able to, because I'm a mom, she was a mom, and it just kind of made me feel like I had empathy for her. I thought, oh my gosh, what if that was me in that situation and that was happening? And then I loved her. I felt like that gave her, for me, and maybe not everyone feels that way, but for me, a redeeming quality back to her that I needed. So
I love the way you just said that, because I completely agree, and I had no idea that I completely agreed until you just said that, because that was very well put.
Yeah.
Yay, Rima.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I'm just silently contemplating how harrowing that scene was and trying not to weep.
I know, exactly.
Yeah, I know that it weighs heavily. I didn't want to be a bummer. I mean, Kristen was so great in bringing up these really awesome positive ones, but for me, this was a positive. I know it was horrible and it was morbid, but it to me it was a positive in like a female kind of perspective, and how I ended up loving the character of Lori and thought, no, we can't lose her now. I like her now. So.
I'm sure I read or heard in an interview, maybe even with you guys, I'm not sure. It was Glenn Mazzara that was showrunner at that point, wasn't it? And I'm pretty sure that he said he took some of that almost directly from his last exchanges with his own mum before she passed away.
Wow.
In vastly different circumstances, I imagine. But
Let's hope.
otherwise, jeez. But I think there was an element of truth to it and to the performance as well. And you could really tell the bond between her and Chandler at that point, I think. Like, he always acted the best when he was up against the kind of heavyweight actors. They really brought out a really nice side to Carl. So yeah, it was just a really powerful scene. I know.
Sorry. Okay, so let's let me give my other one.
You're buying the second round.
Yeah, let's bring back a positive one. Then I'll give my second one that I have. So that was Kristen. You brought up No Sanctuary, which also has one of my favorite moments, and that was several favorite moments. That whole episode was just fantastic. In Terminus, when you had the lineup of the fellas at the trough. Oh my goodness! Oh, yeah. Talk about crazy. And was that the finale or was it the premiere? Either way,
premiere.
Okay, so and then not only that was like a huge impact for me for that show. That was amazing. I thought they did a wonderful job. I love the fact that Greg Nicotero, who directed that episode, didn't tell the actors what was going to happen. So their reactions when you see it on camera is genuine. Like their freak out, like, oh hell, this is disgusting, or whatever moments. Those are real genuine reactions from the actors. Because Greg
remember
Nicotero,
reading that.
Yeah, I didn't tell them. So I love that. I love that about the show. I love how they do that. But then also we had Carol.
Oh
yes.
Praise be.
Yes. Yeah, Carol. That was amazing. I mean, I loved her already, but this just like over the top for me. I was like, oh, Carol. I mean, and maybe that was a lot for, other people can relate and say the same thing. But, I did like where she was going already. In some places I was slightly annoyed because that was just after the, where she kind of took out Karen and, oh, sorry, I'm going to forget his name.
David.
Oh, yes,
Karen
the other
and
David.
David.
Karen and David. How could I forget?
Which I still find funny. So I'm just like, oh yeah, Karen and David.
It isn't kind of morbid, but yeah, after she had done what she did with the illness at the prison and things like that, and Rick had exiled her, and then she comes back in this moment. So I love that moment where they all come back together. She's, despite what happened, she saves her people. And for me, that's what I love about this show is the people, and of course Carol, and in all her badassery, had that moment. So that's it for me.
I don't ship Rick and Carol, but I would love for everyone in the world to find someone who looks at them the way he looks at her when he says, "You did that?" When he figures out that it was her that saved them, because it's just such a perfect moment where he's just like, holy shit. You're just like, yeah, Grimes, she's fucking badass.
Yeah, girls can save the day. Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, you exiled her, huh? Like, so no, completely agree. Such good moment.
Yes, it was.
I think that No Sanctuary is it's not only like my favorite episode of the entire series, it's one of my favorite episodes of television.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%
it's a
agree.
Perfect episode of television.
Everything.
I agree. Yeah. I agree
completely. It even has like a cute reunion with a baby as well as throats getting slit, and it's just, it literally has something for all the family.
And Carol's saying the whole time, "I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You're full of shit. I don't believe you." To what's his name in what was his name?
Oh yeah,
the guy that was in The Lookout.
The guy with the baseball cap.
Yeah.
Oh. It was something really, it was like, Vince or something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like some kind of douche name. No, Vince isn't a douche name. I'm sorry if anyone is called
wow.
Like Thad. Like Who's named Thad, right? Thad.
Yeah, Thad. We'll call him that.
Call him Thad.
Well, my favourite moments, I'll do my non-female focused ones first, and they actually just popped into my head, with Kristen's one about we fight to the fence. I think no one does kind of I don't know if he means to, but I think Andrew Lincoln does deadpan delivery quite well. So any moment where like Rick is covered in another person's blood and looks up and says "what" is always a really good one. And obviously, like the line I was obsessed with for ages was that line in season 3 where Laurie's sort of like, "Rick, why haven't we been working on our marriage, Rick?" And he's like, "I've been busy doing stuff. Thanks."
We talk about David and I say that to each other all the time. We're busy doing stuff and things. And thanks.
Stuff and thanks.
We do that too. Like, Dave will go things or thangs. There's a difference.
Yeah, there is a big difference. I say that a lot too. It's hilarious how that just like becomes a part of your vocabulary, those little phrases. Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably one of those things, if you said it to Andrew Lincoln, he'd be like, I don't, what? Like, why are you saying that? You're like, it's a really good line.
Like, he didn't understand that everybody made fun of the way he said Carl.
God, it took him such a long time before he finally understood that. I think they had to like show him a YouTube video of how it just keeps going.
On. Really? He didn't get that?
No.
Oh,
my other...
That's so funny.
On that note, and when I saw David Morrissey in Walker Stalker London, I think in 2016, he was saying, you know the bad lip reading videos? And there's one with the governor and Rick. If you haven't looked them up,
they're great.
Do. It's really funny. And the ending scene is like the governor has a song, and it was either he does jazz hands or it's some singing line where he goes like a boo boo doo boo boo boo, and David Morrissey was like, you know, for like 2 years, people have been coming up to me in the street singing this line at me, and I'm just like, I have no idea what this is all about. And today, I finally watched the video, and now I understand. And I was just like, how disarming would that be if you're just like out shopping and someone comes up to you and just starts singing something you don't even recognise at you? I was like, yeah.
What a strange life would be to be an actor and have people just come up to you and quote things to you. That would be so strange.
Oh my God. It would be so weird. I would just be like, okay, thank you, bye.
Thank you. Thanks for the random little...
Total surreal life.
Mm-hmm.
I went, for my other favourites, I actually went for my actual 2 insignificant favourite moments that I love very much. The first is from season 4, episode 9, After, which is the Carl and Rick standalone episode. Only the bit I like the best is at the end when there's a knock at the door, and Rick goes up and looks, and he starts to smile and says, "Carl, it's for you."
Yep.
And it's Michonne.
Yes.
Because I love that, because, and that relates to my other 2 favourite moments in Clear, which is the episode where I really started to love Michonne, was that episode. Or when she's noisily eating potato chips and then says that the mat said welcome, which I'm just like, that's where I would be in the apocalypse, just eating the potato chips and being like, I don't give a fuck. I know. And then when she gets the cat, she gets that disgusting cat thing for Carl, and she's like, it was just too damn beautiful. And I'm just like, oh, she's great. So those are my 2. Because I think Michonne is just so wonderful and so layered, and I think those were 2 moments that felt true to her, but also gave her a bit of depth that we weren't getting in the kind of angry killing machine mode that she was in when we first meet her.
Yes.
I also think that when you meet Michonne, and I know that this may be a topic of conversation that we would have naturally gotten to anyways, but for me, because I didn't read the comic, I would watch the seasons and then read the comics afterwards up until that moment. Yeah. So for me, I was just not a Michonne fan at first because I didn't like Andrea. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that she like was with Andrea and buddied up with her, it took me a minute to like separate that.
Yeah.
Why didn't you like Andrea? No, I'm dying to know.
It's a loaded question.
Yeah, you know what? I think she was fine. But I just, after her sister died and she had like all that anger towards Dale, and then she's like, oh, I'm a tough girl, and she wanted to like, you know, the way that she was with Shane, and there was something that felt fake about her. Mm-hmm. It was like she was trying too hard, and even in her death, and she was like, I just didn't want anybody else to die. And I'm like, come on, like you're ruining your own own death.
Yes. This is your moment, and this is what's happening.
So she brought the governor and Rick to the table, and she's like, I did that. I'm the best because I'm Andrea. I'm just like, come on. She can be perfectly badass and capable and wonderful like Carol or Michonne without the look at me vibe that she always had. And that was really hard.
Did you were you disappointed like I was when she had the chance to kill the governor and gave him the night he would never forget, and instead I pretty sure they just boned.
Yeah.
but they,
you know what? I can't even begin to explain the stupidity level that was that entire arc with her and Woodbury and her relationship with the governor, or whatever he called it. Was it Brian at the time that she called that he said his name was? And that Philip. That's right. When was he Brian?
He was Brian after the fall of Woodbury.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
Odyssey.
And every time she would say his name, I'm like, it felt like nails on a chalkboard.
Yes.
And then when Michonne said, you chose, you deserted a friend for a warm bed or something like that. I'm like, yes, that's what you did.
And good hair conditioner.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was so much wrong with her that even the little parts that were right, she still messed up.
Yeah. Well, and it's so disappointing because I'm going to sound like a broken record, but again, like Lucy was stating earlier, in the earlier seasons, the female characters just were not, in my opinion, just not very well written. They weren't given very much to do. Like, I did not enjoy Carol's character a lot in the beginning as well.
Yep.
Lori annoyed the hell out of me, and I did not like Andrea. So, there was a lot happening here, and I was just mad. I was like, there are no good female or good female characters, and it wasn't to do with the actresses. Now, I'll admit I wasn't a huge fan of Lori Holden. I feel like I always, when I have this connection with a character and I'm just not sure I was totally feeling her, but it's not really her acting job or anything. It was just that damn character and the lines that she was given. So I don't have any fault with her as a person, just this character. It was just awful. It was, everyone's making these dumbass decisions. You got Lori flipping cars at one damn walker in the road. Andrea making
Rima, that's because all women are bad drivers. Sorry, did you not get the memo?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
well, I'd like to prove him wrong because I'm a pretty damn good driver, and I'll put any guy. I'll go against any guy.
I forgot about
when she was in the car. Was she looking at a map?
She was looking at a freaking map while she was
like, why are we looking at a map in the dead of night in the apocalypse?
Yeah, I don't know, but there were
because we're women.
Yeah, we can't do that many things at one time.
Our lady,
it's just too much. She probably got her period halfway through. Like, oh no, she was pregnant. She didn't.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Pregnancy hormones, pregnancy brain.
I'll tell you what. Without Waze, I don't know how to do anything. So I'm the first one to admit I need Waze at all times. Like to get next door, I need Waze. So
Waze is amazing. Waze is amazing.
I need to know where the police are at all times.
Oh, hell yeah. Gotta lower that speed.
I need to know where they are so I can avoid them.
Exactly.
I'm like, where are they and what am I doing now that can get me busted?
Even if I don't see the police, I still thumbs up it because I'm like, you know what? He could be hidden. Maybe I don't see the police. Yeah, police are here. I see them.
Yeah.
Everybody act with caution.
Act normal, everyone.
Just in case. He could always come back.
So what do you think is ahead for the show in general? Do you think that
wait, Karen, you didn't give your favorite moment.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, Sanctuary was definitely mine. It's so funny that we didn't all, but I think we all might have agreed that Sanctuary was a badass episode, and one of the reasons why is because Carol's a freaking badass. It was just so great to see her save the day, and be a hero.
It was an episode that didn't skimp on emotional beats as well as like horror beats.
Yes.
I think that made a difference for me. Was like you tend to get one or the other, And I think the fact that you got all of them in one was really cathartic. You got like the thrill and the horror and the fear, but you also got the like everyone's back together, yay vibes,
and which is also let that be a lesson, Walking Dead, about pace and about the last 3 years were something of a slog. So just you know, none of us picked recent episodes, although I
you know what? I did like No Way Out. I loved No Way Out.
Remind me which one No Way Out was?
Yeah. That was the one where they had to fight their way out of the zombie horde of Alexandria, and Carl got shot in the eye. Oh, yeah. And Rick is carrying Carl in.
That was
and
like 3 years ago.
Was it?
It was a while back.
Maybe 2?
It was
the one episode I wanted to mention, but I didn't have a particularly strong reaction to at the time, and I've completely forgotten its name, is the one where Carol and Maggie are captive by that red-haired actress, Alicia Witt. Is that her name? And it's quite a female-heavy episode because it's 2 female saviors, and it's almost a bottle episode, isn't it? And they're in that kind of prison room talking, and you know, Carol's faking, or is she faking a panic attack? And I always thought that was quite an interesting one that they handed over to kind of strong female actresses for that. And yeah, I wish I'd had time to rewatch it because I'd kind of intended to and didn't get round to it. Sorry guys, but yeah, that was an interesting one too.
That was, and you know, anytime Carol, in fact, I'm going to use this as my favorite. This is my favorite thing. I love when Carol puts on her, I'm just a female that just likes to bake.
And she knows what's happening in the most wonderful way.
Her snappy cardigans.
Oh, it's so great. When she was making her run for it in a car, leaving Alexandria, going on her own, and she's stopped by, I want to say, some thugs from the sanctuary, and she takes them all down, because they underestimate her, because she is a woman.
She's just a girl.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, hey, and she had rigged up this whole thing where she was like, was it in the arm of her coat?
It's in her sleeve.
Yes.
Literally up her sleeve.
Oh,
yeah.
She's so great. So
she's just awesome.
Is she going to keep being great? Are we going to keep, what season are you going to bring us? Jump in.
We're all silent.
Yeah.
I think
it feels like
Angela Kang.
I would like them to actually have a woman lead the show.
Yeah.
I think that at this point we have Carol and we kind of have Maggie, and the fact that they're not being utilized in more leading roles, and that it's still kind of male driven, even in Fear the Walking Dead. I mean, in Fear the Walking Dead, we had a female leader, and now it's the male. The male has been pushed to the front again. Yeah. You know, in The Walking Dead, the original. Proper, I love it. Whoever says Walking Dead proper, thank you forever, because I love it. But in Walking Dead proper, you know, it's almost like AMC or the showrunners are so scared of putting a female up to the front, like, you know, Maggie, who deserves to be there, Carol, who deserves to be there. They're offering Norman Reedus $20 million to lead the show when he grunts all season. You know, so it's just, to me, that's a slap in the face. Yes. And it's just, you know what? You have these really great female characters, 3 that I could think of off the top of my head in Walking Dead proper, that aren't being utilized to their full potential.
Michonne,
Maggie. You can't blame Lauren Cohen for wanting to walk.
Right.
Like, do you know what I mean? I look at it and I'm like, I don't want you to go, but also, what are they giving you to stay? Like, I would just be like, do you know what? Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
I would too. If I heard that the guy that is in half the episodes with half the lines was getting $20 million and they won't even negotiate a contract with me, I'm out.
Yeah.
Personally, sorry.
Yeah, I agree.